Sadie's way ahead of them, standing on the lip of the gentle grey ocean, mangrove roots curling around her feet like grasping fingers. They play games in her room, he said. Don't go any further, Barry shouts. Sadie disappears into the mangrove thicket. Fuck, says Barry. I'll have to get her back. Nip looks at Barry like he's done something wrong. You said F, Dad. Barry ignores his son and follows after his daughter, only he walks away from the edge of the water to where the mangroves aren't so bad. Nipper isn't so smart. Ow, 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 he says, hopping, but it brings him down heavier on the sharp green fingers reaching up through the sand. Ow, ow. And then all of a sudden he's looking at Barry like there's something he can do about it. You walked on him, says Barry, and his feet sink into the soft, almost spongy sand. Bloody hell, he says, and he pulls his bare feet from the sand. It's the colour of brown paper bags. He keeps walking, but after a minute in the muddy, he looks at his feet like slapdash Christmas presents, same as the one his old man used to wrap after his mum died. All his feet need is string. Barry looks across the sand flats and mangroves to where Sadie's running in circles. She stops, looks right at him and shouts something, but this time Gary can't hear it over another noise. His noise. The noise. The noise he found during the fire and the shelling in Vietnam. He calls it the noise because he can't call it anything else. It's a ringing first, and then a thrumming, a boom boom tick, whoosh of white, clackety clack. Dad! Sadie waves to him, or is she pointing? Barry follows her hand and all he can see is sand and grey ocean and gnarled roots and dark, inky green mangrove leaves. Not there, says Nip, and he's up on his toes, quick smart to dodge the mangrove spines. Over there. Barry follows the line of his son's hand. He looks direct into the slow setting sun and has to shield his eyes with the crook of his arm like an awning. Keep looking, says Nip. Then the horizon shivers, widens, and the shiver breaks apart, scatters. Barry sees them. Thousands of clacking bodies piling in and over each other, mindlessly scrambling, getting closer like a slow-moving wave, but with the precision of a flying flock of birds. Legs and claws up and ready like the mitts of a boxer, but sharp. Shells the colour of sand, but eyes like dark pinpricks in a sheet of light. Clacking, clicking, rattling, ringing, thrumming, boom, boom, tick, tick, whoosh of white, clackety clack. They're not dangerous, says Nip. Where'd they come from? Barry asks quietly. Nipper shrugs. The sand? Are they bleeding? Nah, says Nip. That's leg joins. See? And see those round things? Barry nods. Glenn says that's what's left after they eat. They roll the sand around and around and they suck out what they need and leave those balls of sand. Barry squints through the lowering sun. The outline of Sadie's body is fuzzy, almost like she's standing on the horizon itself. She shrieks like a gull, and Barry watches as she pretends to snap up the hard bodies in her beak. The blue-yellow cloud responds to her feet and swirls, bends, moves across the mudflats. Barry closes his eyes and turns his face away, but the noise won't stop. Without silence, he can't find his breath. Without silence, everything scuttles over everything else. Catch me, Nipper, she shouts. No way. She runs towards him. But I'm flying. I'm flying. Nip doesn't say anything. You can't get away from me. Barry opens his eyes. His son looks right at him, right down into him where the noise comes from. You okay, Dad? The boy asks. Only today, Dad feels like another man's name. Barry doesn't answer. Time to go, he says. Time to go, he shouts. Sadie strikes again, turns her wings, circles around and back out towards the mangroves. The crabs part like a cloud breaking and many disappear. Sadie! She doesn't answer. Barry shouts again. Oi! Sadie! Get stuffed! She yells, and then she's running almost like she's trying to outrun him, crushing crabs beneath her small pink feet. Barry follows, and when he finally catches her, he grabs her squirming body and lifts her into the air. Stop! She shouts. "Take it easy," says Barry. Let me down," she screams, and when he doesn't, she sinks her teeth into his arm. Her mouth is small and her teeth pinch rather than tear. "Oi!" shouts Barry, but he doesn't drop her. "Don't bite," says Nipper, and he whacks his sister on the nose. Practiced. The teeth let go, and she rounds on her brother instead. "Make me!" "You're going to get a hiding, girl," says Barry. And he might have too. He might have put her over his knee and walloped her. But that's the exact moment when the soldier crabs come falling or crawling out from inside the leg of her shorts. They drop or skitter. Dozens of them. Hundreds. But there can't be as many as Barry sees. Nipper shakes his head and tuts like he's an 80-year-old woman. "She always does this," he says. "Dobber," Sadie shouts in Nipper's face. And Barry wants to call her a dirty little bugger, but he doesn't. He drops her. "Get her arms," he shouts. "Nipper, someplace else. Someplace dry where there are no crabs and maybe no sisters either." "Oi, Nip, wake up," says Barry again, and this time, before Nip can bolt, Barry grabs him by the neck. Nipper takes Sadie's arms and holds her flat to the sand. "Let me up," she screams. Barry pulls at her shorts and drags him down. She's kicking like they're holding her underwater and shouting, "No, no, no." Nipper looks away. "I hate you," she screams, and it could be meant for either of them. Barry tells her again to take it easy. He's changed her nappy, wiped her ass and helped her in change rooms. What's the big deal? "Stop kicking," he says, as he upends the broken shells and crab mush from inside the crotch of her underpants. The tiny pink bow again, just below the belly button. There's sand and shells stuck all over. Barry tries to brush some of it away from her thighs and belly, and the moment he touches the skin above her cleft, Sadie stops thrashing, her body still, resigned, like a caught fish still grasping for air, but long given up the fight. "Let her go," says Barry. Nipper releases her arms and Barry lets go too, but Sadie remains still, like she's drowned, staring up, like maybe she wishes she were a seagull and could fly away. Barry pulls her dax up. "Time to go," he says. Barry pauses in a line of cars, but his four-wheel drive won't sit still. It shakes from side to side like it's trying to shake them all out. The noise doesn't fade with the beach. It's still in his ears. He can't wait to be free of the kids and the growing niggling in his belly that something isn't right. He glances in the rearview mirror just as Nipper reaches over to hold his sister's hand, but Sadie curls away from him and into the door. Nip doesn't push, and when Barry finally pulls into their driveway, the boy's out like a shot. Barry turns the key in the ignition. The four-wheel drive grumbles to a stop. Gillian waits in the doorway. She's alone. Glenn's never home when Barry drops the kids off, too busy making big bucks selling Noosa-style mini-mansions. In fact, Barry's only seen Glenn twice. One to go crooked him for having it off with his wife, and the other at a custody hearing. Neither went well. "Dad," asks Sadie from the back seat. Barry looks in the rearview mirror. Her face is back to normal. "Yeah," he says. "You coming next week?" "Week after," he says. At the top of the steps, Gillian opens her arm, ready for a hug, but Nipper pushes past and disappears inside. She looks at Barry as if to say, "What have you done now?" Barry shrugs. "I don't know," he mouths. "Did you try?" Barry winds the window down and shouts, "He asked me to have a throw of the footy, so we did. Maybe if you took more interest in what he likes. It was his idea. He wants your attention." Barry feels the noise inside his head rise, and even though he can't exactly hear it, the noise must be there because he can't focus. He can't concentrate. Nipper, Glenn, Sadie, Gillian, crabs, mini-mansions, it might as well be the same thing. "I tried," he says. Gillian shakes her head. "Sadie." Sadie stays where she is. "Sadie." "Your mum's calling you," he says. "Sorry about biting, Dad." Gillian gives up and goes back inside. She leaves the front door open. "Your mum's waiting," Barry says. Sadie nods and opens the door. She lifts herself out and drops to the ground. Her legs are still a bit short for the four-wheel drive. Not next week, the week after, she says, confirming. Barry starts the car. Shut the door. Sadie pushes the door closed but waits in the storm gutter on the side of the road. Careful, he says. She takes a step back and waits for him to pull away. Barry pulls the Land Cruiser out into the street and tries not to think about the balls of sand left by the crabs on the beach. He checks the rearview mirror. She's still there, standing in the stormwater drain, looking like she's missing something, or waiting for something, or both. Thank you.